Well, hello. And a good afternoon, everyone. This is your girl, Dr. Najuma. And normally I come on in the morning and I do wake up and win. However, I am producing this in the evening time. And so um, it's not wake up and win. It's you woke up and won. You woke up and won. Woke up and won. Woke up and won. Woke up and won. Listen, yeah, normally I do wake up and win, but this morning I was not able to do the live recording. And so we're doing an evening recording for our Winners Wednesday. It's a Winners Wednesday. And I had to drop today's win word, even if it was an evening word. So we're going to get into it. But before I do that, let me reintroduce myself. And I need to do that because it's been a minute since I've done a Wednesday win word, only because I've been so busy. Things have been going really, really great. But there's been a lot of other projects going on. And so I just haven't been able to, my time has really been stretched thin. But never the case, let me reintroduce myself. I am your girl, Reverend Dr. Najuma Smith. I use this platform, Wake Up and Win podcast, to share with you about my grief journey and anything and everything that I'm learning, have learned, and how that's enabling me to get up every day and win. And so, what we say on this platform is that you can go through a major loss, recover, restore, rebuild, and win again. That you can go through a major loss, recover, restore, rebuild, and win again. And so that's what we use this platform for, to acknowledge the major loss, whatever that's been, but talk about how we recover, how we restore, and how we can get back out there and win again. And so today's win word, as we close out 2024, I'm going to use these next couple of Wednesdays to talk about the gift in grief. The gift in grief. It is Advent season. Everyone's getting ready for Christmas and New Year's Eve. And so for these next couple of Wednesdays, I'm going to be talking about the gift in grief. Since this is high gifting time, people are giving gifts for Christmas. People will be giving gifts for Hanukkah. People will be giving gifts for Kwanzaa. And then certainly people will be giving gifts for the new year. So for the next 3 Wednesdays, I'm going to be talking about the gift in grief, as this is a high gifting season. So let's get into it. And again, welcome to Wake Up and Win with your girl, Dr. Najuma. But because we're recording at night, we're live streaming at night, we're going to say you woke up and won. All right. So let's get into today's win word, which is the gift in grief, part one. The gift in grief, part one. Now, for those that are unfamiliar with my story, in 2018, my oldest son was murdered. And so October made 6 years that I've been on this grief journey. What I know about grief is that grief is not a destination that we get through. It's not a destination that we get through, but it is a journey. It's a pathway that I'm on for the rest of my life, right? Not to mention anything else that may happen that may add to that grief. As a mother, I will grieve the loss of my son. I will be on this grief journey for eternity because it is unnatural to lose a child. Even the Bible addresses the pain of Jesse when he thought his son Benjamin had been murdered. And there's a word in the text that speaks specifically to the pain and the sorrow of a parent losing a child. We also see the same kind of sorrow in the story of Rizpah, whose sons were murdered, right? Whose sons were killed. And so and as a Christian, I should say that the biblical text lifts up stories where mothers or parents lost a child, and that form of grief and sorrow and deep pain. In I believe our Chinese culture, there's a word called Han, right? And Han also deals that deep sorrow and grieving. So anyway, the point being is that I'm on the grief journey, and everything that I learned and learning, I use here on this platform, share out, and hopefully anything that's shared here can help you along your journey as well. So let's get into the gift of grief, part one. What I'm learning is that grief is a big thing. Like, it's not just the sadness, it's not just the pain, it's not just the sorrow. It is a process. And in the process of grief, and what I also want to invite you to do is go back and listen and watch past episodes, right? Because I talk a lot about grief. But in this season of gifting, I do want to acknowledge that grief does offer us a few gifts. If we are able to process grief in a way that's healthy, if we're able to, if we're able to have a community of people around you that love you through the grief journey, I'm finding out that grief has several gifts. And the gift that I want to lift up tonight in just a short time is the gift of connection. The gift of connection. One of the things that the grieving process has done for me is help me to reevaluate my connection with people that I love, and the connection with people that I didn't need to have connection with, right? Um, what grieving does or has done for me, and I hope that this helps you, is it helps you to reevaluate the relationships that you have and to value the ones that you really care about, right? And to make sure that you're maximizing on time and energy and space and place with the people that you care most about. Now, it doesn't mean that I didn't appreciate family and friends before losing my son. But one of the gifts of grief is that it helps you to reevaluate really where to put your energy as it relates to connection with others, whether that's family, whether that's friends, co-workers, neighbors. It just helps you to reevaluate your human connection, right? For some, grieving causes them to pull away, and that can happen. But again, as I'm learning to process my grief in the healthiest way that I know how, and with the help of friends and therapy and all these things, one of the gifts that grief has given to me is the gift of reevaluating and valuing my connection with other human beings and how I connect with others and how I prioritize and even how I'm prioritizing my connection with family, with friends, with neighbors, with coworkers. The gift of connection. Because what I know, and for those that have ever lost a loved one, you know this. Once a person's gone, that connection changes. Now I say changes because now my connection to my son is a spiritual connection, right? He's returned to the spirit realm, and so there's a spiritual connection, but not this earthly connection. And because it was so sudden, I'm learning and I've learned that as I do human connection now, I have to value every moment, every minute. And again, those relationships that have a priority in my life, I have to make sure to connect. I have to make sure to connect beyond just surface. I have to make sure to connect more frequently. I have to make sure that our connection has depth, right? So again, make sure the connection is intentional, more frequent, and is deeper, and even prioritizing. So there are just some relationships that I have allowed the connection to, you know, kind of wane because those relationships did not have the same place or value for where I am right now. Doesn't mean the person is not worth value. It just means this connection is not something that I need to prioritize. And so the gift that grief has given to me is a greater awareness about connection, about human connection, prioritizing them, being intentional, time spent, and the depth of those relationships and those connections, the human connection, and really valuing human connection, because once the human connection with someone else is over, it's over. It's done. There's no more human connection with my son, my father, my grandmother, my grandfather, my cousin, my auntie. But it was in losing my son, it was like once it was done, that was it. And so, really reevaluating human connection and how I do human connection and being intentional with human connection, prioritizing human connection, having depth with connection with other human beings. Again, family, friends, neighbors, colleagues, coworkers, whoever, right? And also saying some of these relationships don't need, I have to reevaluate how much time and energy they take up. And it's something about going through the grief process that helps us to refocus and reevaluate. And in doing so, in doing that, the gift has been richer, deeper, more authentic human connection. Because now it's really a priority in a different kind of way. How I do human connection has a different look, a different feel, and a different intention. And so that was how his grief has gifted me. And my prayer is that going through this grief process in this way, my prayer is that I become a better human being. That's my prayer, is that every day I become a better human being and I do human connection in a better way. And so that's been one of the major gifts that grief has given to me. The gift in grief is my awareness and my awakening around deeper, intentional, prioritizing, valuing time, energy, space for greater human connection in a way that I had never I had not given thought to before. Doesn't mean I wasn't a great friend. Doesn't mean I wasn't in touch with family. I was, but now it's different, and that's okay. That's what I've come away with, and so that's been a very clear gift that I have found in the grieving journey. And that's why we're calling this series The Gift in Grief. So when we come back next week, I have two other gifts that I'm going to share with you. And then the following week, I have another gift. And there may be some other things that come out. But my prayer for you, and I hope for you, that as you go through your grieving journey, that your human connections get broader, deeper, more valuable, richer, and you and I and others, we become better human beings because we have a great understanding, awareness of grief and loss, and recognize that these human connections that we have are very, very, very important, are very important. Amen. So thank you for allowing me to share The Gift in Grief, Part 1. Stay tuned for next week, Part 2 and 3, and then the week after. Thank you for joining us on Woke Up and Won, which is really Wake Up and Win, but for the sake of tonight, we're calling it Woke Up and Won. And I want to invite you to think about, for those that are going through any kind of grief journey, whatever that journey may be for you, whatever the challenge may be, whatever the loss has been, I want to invite you to think in this season of gifting, what has been the gift or gifts you have discovered in your grief journey? What has been the gift or gifts you're discovering in your grief journey? I'd love for you to share them in the comments if you're able, or send me an email or whatever. But share that with me. Let me know what gifts you've discovered in your grief journey. Thank you for joining your girl, Dr. Najuma, Wake Up and Win, the Gift in Grief series. And please like, share, and subscribe. Like, share, and subscribe. Send this to someone because this might actually help them. All right, y'all. We out. Peace.